Hey everyone, I'm Stefanie Mullen from RampantDesignTools.com, and today I'm going to show you how to use the animated mats found in Rampant Style Kits in Final Cut Pro 10. Now if you're not familiar with Rampant Style Kits, head on over to RampantStyleKits.com and check out all the amazing packs that Rampant has put together for your video needs. Everything from emojis all the way to business kits, Rampant has your video style needs covered, and it's super easy to use them, and I'm going to show you how. And like I mentioned at the beginning, this is all about how to use the animated mats from the style kits in Final Cut. So let's jump over to Final Cut and get started. Now before we begin, I want to point out the different animated mats that come in the style kits. And I'm going to pull up my Finder right here. And one type of mat you're going to see is you're going to see a one file mat. I like to call those whole mats. And the other type will be a mat that comes with pieces. Well, how do you know which mat you have? Well, let's take a look at the mats here. And you will see here that this is file 2 and has a part 1. This is a part 2, part 3, part 4. Here's number 2. Okay. Here's a 5. Nothing else with 5. Here's a number 2, nothing else with that number 2, and then there's an 18A, 18B, and then an 18. Well, as you can probably guess, 5 and 2 here are going to be our whole mats. They're one file mats, and then 2 has 4 parts, and 18 has 2 parts. Okay, so these are the whole ones. These are one file mats, and then of course you're going to have your parts. That's how you know. The technique is going to be the same for all these mats, and I'm going to talk about the whole mats first, and then I'm going to talk about how to use the mats with pieces. Okay, but before we talk about any of that, we have to import everything, and importing is super easy because these are MOV files, so we're going to be importing them just like any other video file. And to do that, all we do is we can come up here to File, Import Media this way. You can right-click, Import Media this way, or if you're like me, I like the drag and drop method, and if I have a folder, I even like that even better because I can drag that entire folder in, all the mats come in, and I get a keyword that says animated mats. Now from here, here's my animated mats. From here, all we're going to be doing is dragging them down to our video, and then we're ready to work with them. And I'm going to show you how. And this is how to get started. So I'm going to work with the whole mats first, and I'm going to change this over to the list view so I can see which mats have parts and which mats don't. And this is the very first one I'm going to work with. And if we play that through, you'll see what it looks like. Okay, it just animates on these really cool 4 boxes. Now to use it, all I do is grab it, drag it, and drop it in. Now all we have to do is blend this video footage with this mat. So we make sure the mat is highlighted. Come over to our inspector, change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha. And there you go, instant mat. If I rewind that and play it through, there you go. Super easy, right? That didn't take any time at all. It was really, really simple. Now let's go ahead and look at another mat. I'm just going to shrink this up right now. Let's do it again. And I'm going to go ahead and grab mat 18. I'm not going to worry about A or B right now for this, just for this second. I'm just going to show you how to work with it just as one whole mat. So grab it, drag it, and drop it in. Okay. And then we just change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha. Okay. Now we have used our one file mat. Even though it comes with pieces, you can still use this one, and it looks beautiful. Right? Now, if we were working with this and I only had one file, how do I get a second piece of video over here? Right? How do I do that? What if I want this video right here in this second box? Well, first we're going to pop this up underneath so it's on top, and then we're going to have to mask this video, right? So it only exists here. So I come over here, come to my masks, choose draw mask, drag it on, and then all we need to do is draw this simple mask surrounding, and I can't really see. So let's zoom out just a little bit. Draw this simple mask around there, and there we go. Okay, we can rewind that back and play that through. So there, we've got 2 pieces of video in a whole mat, a one file mat. Okay, you can do this with any of your mats. Now, here's where Rampant's going to help us out with the pieces. If I have this mat, it looks fantastic, and my client said, well, I like this, but I want it to be moved. How do I do that? Well, you should be able to go over here into change your X value. Maybe I want to move it over. Well, what's happening here? Well, it's moving the whole mat. So I'm going to undo that. To move this file right now as a whole mat, as a one file mat, I'm going to have to remove my mask. So delete the mask from here. Then I'm going to have to position it. So we can now position maybe we want this shore to be seen like that. Maybe we want the rocks here. And because it's on the edge, you don't actually have to mask it, but so I'm just going to make sure it covers it a little bit here. And then we take our mask, put it back on, redraw it just like this. And I think I cover, there we go. Move it around, just make sure the mask is covering everything. Now if we rewind that, play that through, Now the client's happy, we're seeing the shore, everybody's happy, okay? So we have to make sure that when we're making a mask, we have to move the video to the correct position before we actually put the mask on. Not too difficult, but it does take time, and Rampant's here to save you time. Well, this is where the pieces come in. So let's do this exact same thing, okay? But this time we're going to use pieces. So let's delete this. And let's put this back down here in our timeline, just like we had it, right? Here's piece 1, piece 2, and let's take the mask off. We don't want that. And we want to reset the position, okay? So clip 1, clip 2, here's where the pieces come in. All I do is come up here, grab my piece, drag it down. I'm going to shrink it up right here, all right? Change the blend mode, stencil alpha. There we go. Now we have to create a compound clip here because we have to make this one video clip. Make one video clip, drag the other video clip on top, grab our second piece of animated matte. We're going to shrink that up, change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha, and then create another clip so we only have 2 clips on top of each other. And now if we roll that through and play it, okay, we have the same looking thing, right? The very same thing, but now watch this. Remember how time consuming it was to put the mask on? Now I can move my clip within my matte just like this, and I don't have to move anything, okay? So I don't have to change anything. I don't have to delete masks and make masks and everything. Now if I rewind that and play that through, now the video's been moved and the client's happy, we're happy because we saved time, and everybody gets to go on with life, right? So that's how easy it is to use the pieces. I want to show you one more time, and I want to show you with these 4 pieces down here how easy it is to use these. Now we have this animated matte right here, and I'm going to play it for you to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 4 boxes animating on. If you were to mask this, first of all, to mask the fact that it's right here is like, where is it? Like right where it comes together would be very good masking. You'd be like expert masker, right? So because I don't have time to be an expert masker and make sure all my masks line up and they don't cover anything and they're right in the center. That's where the pieces come in. So all we're going to do is we're going to grab these pieces, and if you want to see what they do, you can go ahead and highlight them. So I'm just going to drag it down, drop it in, change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha, shrink it up if we want to match our clips, and then we have to compound this clip to make one clip. Boom. Number 2, bring it up. I think we're going backwards in parts here, but that's okay. So change this, stencil alpha, shrink it up. We'll probably shrink it up to be the same length. And then compound this, bring up clip number 3, grab our next part, bring it down, stencil alpha, shrink everything up so that it matches. Boom. And then make a compound clip. And then bring up number 4. You see how easy this is? This is so simple. Pop it on top of here, shrink everything up again so it matches. Change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha, and then create another clip, another compound clip. Okay, so now we've got 4 clips, and if we roll that back and play that through, see that? I didn't have to mask anything, and it looks amazing. This is great for if maybe I was at a zoo, right? And I had an animal here, an animal here, an animal here, and an animal here. Super easy. Throw your 4 animals in, and you're done. Okay, and like I mentioned, because these are individual files, and we can now say, well, maybe I want this to be showing the coast like that. Well, I moved it over. So now I'll go back to our big matte, rewind that, and play that through. Look at that. I love it. And that's it. That's how you use the mattes. It's really simple, really easy. You can use the one file matte. You can use the parts, whichever you have in your style kit. They're super easy to use. Now, you can stop here, but if you want to keep going, I'm going to show you a few other techniques you can do to spice up your matte effects. And the very first technique we're going to talk about is changing your file, your matte to 4K. So we're back here with our file. I love this coast file. And I'm going to go to, let's go here. Okay, so grab it, drag it, and drop it in. Again, this is all the same. Change your blend mode from normal to stencil alpha. Now, if I zoom this out a little bit here, zoom out, not zoom in. Okay, I want to show you the 4K size. If I click on this and I click on my transform button, you will see this blue outline right here. This line is showing you that our matte is being fit inside our HD project. Down here, this is an HD project. So this is being fit. How do I know that? Well, if I come over here to spatial conform, it says fit. If I were to change this from fit to none, you're going to see how big it is. Look at that. That is huge. Okay, so that's 4K. That is going to be HD. So we're going to talk about the 4K size. What can we do with this? Well, it's huge, so we have a lot to do with this. Or we can do a lot with this. First, we can move it around. So I can reposition this. Maybe I want to make the lines off center. No problem. Let's rewind that. Play it through. You see that? So now it's a completely different looking matte than what we had before. Maybe I want to scale it down a little bit. So I have these really cool little segments on the end. Well, okay, rewind that. Play that through. Completely different. And if I go take our position back, we can now also rotate this. Take my scale back. We can rotate this just like this. We can even scale it in just a little bit. And now if I rewind that, completely different matte. Okay, so there's so much you can do with the 4K size with the position, rotation, and scale. You can get wild and crazy. I can turn one matte into like 15 mattes. Okay, so that's really cool, and that's technique number 1. Now I'm going to reset everything back to normal, and we're going to change this back down to HD. And I'm going to talk about technique number 2. And technique number 2 is all about timing. As you can see here in our matte, we want this outgoing animation right here. Well, it's way over here. How do we fix that? Well, we can fix the timing. So we have an incoming animation here, and we have an out animation here. Well, we have all this animation that's static in the middle. We can cut that away. So I can press B, bring up my blade tool, make some cut here in the middle. It's kind of arbitrary. Sort of take that out. I can delete it. I can move my end animation here, okay, to the end of my clip. And then all I have to do is stretch this out to match up my beginning. So now if I rewind this and I play that through, it comes on, it holds for a long time, and then it's going to go off. Okay, so we have that animation. You can also do the same thing with making it a lot faster. So I have the animation go on, and maybe I want it to stop there, and then I want the animation to go off really fast. So let's move it down. So we have it going on, and then immediately going off. Okay, so feel free to play with the animation and the timing. You can also speed this up with a speed ramp or with the speed tools as well. I kind of like just cutting it and leaving the animation what it is, but feel free to experiment and try all different things. These are movie files, so you can do a lot with them. Okay, so that's technique number 2, the animation timing. Now let's move on to technique number 3, and I'm going to extend this back out, and let's just give it some more breathing room in here in the middle. And technique number 3 is all going to be about the negative space. And what I'm talking about, the negative space, if I fit this again, this black space back here that you're seeing here is negative. There's nothing there. We can put anything we want there, but right now there's nothing, so it looks like it's black. Well, we can put a color back there, so we can go up here to our generators, grab a solid, bring our solid down, and then we can change our solid color to, I don't know, let's try doing maybe a purple. It's probably going to look really ugly, but let's just go with purple. And all we need to do now is highlight our color, come back over to our video inspector to the blend mode, change the blend mode from normal to behind. And there you go. Now we have a purple color behind our video and our matte. So if I rewind this back through and push play, there we go. There's the purple color, and it is hideous, but it is what it is, right? And then we're going to have our outgoing animation right here. Okay, so that's really easy. So if we can put a color back there, why can't we put video? Well, we can. So let's go ahead and delete that color because it's awfully ugly. Go back to our footage, and I'm going to click back over here so we can see our footage. Let's grab another piece of maybe this one and stick it on top. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did. We're going to select it, change the blend mode from normal to behind. And now you will see right here, here's the video. So now if we rewind this, and if we want to match up our timing here, we can do that. Let's go ahead and just stick with that. Okay, so now if we rewind this and I play it through, there you go. There's the video behind there. I'm going to pause it really fast. And then here's the video that's being matted. Okay, and there it is again. Oh, love that. Now, here's another trick that I like to do when I put the video back there. Because this is video footage, and these are just video files, I can add any of these effects over here that I want. And my favorite to do is put a Gaussian blur on here. So I throw a Gaussian blur on here, and then watch this. Play that. Now the background video isn't very distracting, but it's cool to have some motion back there. Okay. Now, what I don't like about this is that this should be not blurred. I want to be able to see what it is, right? Well, let's do that. Let's go ahead and add a keyframe. So let's find the animation point. Maybe we want the animation, the blur to start right there. So we come up here, put on a keyframe, go back to the beginning and change this to 0. Okay, and do the same thing on the other end. So here's our outgoing animation. Maybe let's put a keyframe there and then at the end, go back down to 0. Now, if we rewind that, you'll see the difference. All right, play that through. So see, you've instantly created this cool animation and it's not distracting. And it goes back to regular. See that? So super cool. I love that. It's a fun little technique that you can add in a Gaussian blur and you're ready to go. And I'm going to show another technique right here. Oh, I can show you this for a title plate. We have this blogger here. And let's go ahead and throw a mat on him. And I like this one right here. This is just a single mat. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to drop it in. Now we have the mat. And I'm going to change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha. And he's sitting here and looks good. The framing is good. If we wanted to, we could move him over just a little bit like that. But it looks really good to me. So it comes on, he's there. And then it comes on here. And I want it to start a little sooner. So remember I was talking about the timing. So I'm going to shrink up this just a little bit, move it back. So it comes on almost instantly. Roll that through. All right, I love that. And what I want to do here is I want to do the exact same thing I did over here. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to option drag. Okay. And then what I'm going to do now is I have 2 clips. You can't see anything going on here. Let's grab that blur again. Let's throw that blur on top. Now, if you watch and I click this on behind. All right, now we've created this, watch. Play that through. See this, we've created a cool animation that we can put a title here. We can do all kinds of things here. Maybe put his social accounts here. And like I just showed you, let's do a little keyframe fun here with the blur. So we don't want this to be all blurry. So let's start the blur here. And then let's go back to make it 0. So it kind of goes in and has a blur, something like this. Push that play. There we go. Okay, so then you can put like Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Check out our really cool social style kit, put all those things over there. So this is a neat trick, right? So we just threw a Gaussian blur on there and it looks like we've kind of cut out this window of clear video. All right, so Gaussian blur, super fun. Play with that. It's awesome. All right, now moving on to technique number 4, which is all about color. And we're looking at this clip right here. Okay, we're talking about color. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the... Well, let's go back here. I'm going to go back and grab this full mat, number 18, not the pieces, just one. I'm going to grab it, drag it down. I'm going to change the blend mode from normal to stencil alpha, so it's always the same. Now we have this cool mat. And it's fun, but like I said, remember I told you about the speed changes? Let's go ahead and change the speed. Oops. Let's change the speed to like 4 times. That might be a little too fast. Well, let's see what that looks like. Rewind that. Play that through. All right, so now the boxes are going a little faster. I love that. Now I want to make a copy, and then this is all about color. So I'm going to copy this clip. Watch how cool this is. I'm going to pop it on top, change the blend mode from normal to behind. Okay. Now I can do some cool effects with this. Go to my color. Maybe I want to throw black and white over the background back here, but only the parts that are in the mask or the mat are going to be colored. So now if I rewind that and play that through. Okay, do you see how the mat's the only thing colored? Well, that's really cool. I don't know, maybe that has a place for something. Be really neat just to emphasize a color part or a portion of your video that you want to emphasize with the mat. That's neat. So you can throw in any kind of effect that you want. Maybe let's take off that black and white. All right, let's do that. And like I always do, let's put a blur on there. Throw a Gaussian blur. That looks really cool. So rewind that and play it through. Well, that looks really cool, and so that's neat, but let's go ahead and put that black and white filter back on there. So now it's black and white and has a Gaussian blur. We're getting crazy. Let's play that through. Play that back. Look at that. That is really cool. So it's this black and white effect with the color being in focus. It's really, really neat. Okay. And since we're doing effects, let's just go back over here. Let's just check out what else can we throw on here. I don't know. Distortion. What else we got on here? Underwater. Why not? It looks like she's packing to go on vacation. Throw underwater on there and watch this. Let's just get crazy with this. Play that through. Wow. Seriously, the only limits here are your imagination. You can add all kinds of things to this video. That's an interesting effect. Very, very cool. All right. As you can see, there are a lot of things you can do with the mats. I've only scratched the surface. Remember, you can build any Final Cut effect or put any built-in Final Cut effect into your video because they are just movie files. All right. Have fun, experiment. These are awesome. These are so much fun to play with. And that's that. Now you know the ins and outs of using the animated mats in Rampant Style Kits. Now, we get this question asked a lot. When do I use these animated mats? When's the appropriate time? Well, the answer to that is anytime you like. Use a mat to highlight a scene. Maybe use the multiple mat pieces to showcase multiple videos of one subject. Remember I was talking about if you go into a zoo, you could put 1, 2, 3, 4. Seriously, these animated mats can do so many things. So experiment, have fun, and make your video get noticed today. Once again, this is Stefanie Mullen with RampantDesignTools.com. Thanks for watching.